Taurus, July 2026. Taurus, something unusual is happening in the area of your chart connected with money, resources, and security. Not because a miracle is about to happen, and not because the universe suddenly decided to reward you. What's interesting about July is that several major planets are focusing attention on the same part of your chart at the same time. That doesn't happen very often, and when it does, life tends to get your attention. But there's something even more important. The opportunity isn't new. What's new is that you're finally in a position to recognize it. Stay with me, because by the end of this forecast, you'll understand why July may feel less like the beginning of a new chapter and more like the moment when previous efforts finally start showing visible results. Let's start with Venus, your ruling planet. Venus rules both love and value. In many ways, it governs what feels worth investing your time, energy, and resources in. For Taurus, matters of the heart and matters of value are often closely connected. Until July 10th, Venus remains in Leo, moving through your fourth house of home, family, roots, and emotional foundations. This energy has already been working in your life since last month. Until July 10th, Venus continues warming this area of your chart. Attention naturally moves toward home, family relationships, living situations, and the people who make you feel supported. You may find yourself investing more energy into creating comfort, stability, and a stronger foundation beneath your feet. Then, on July 10th, Venus enters Virgo and your fifth house. The focus begins to shift. The month starts with foundations and security. It gradually moves toward creativity, enjoyment, self-expression, romance, and the things that remind you why you're working so hard in the first place. Notice the pattern. July isn't asking you to choose between responsibility and joy. It's showing you how one can support the other. Now let's talk about the most active part of your chart. Throughout July, Mars moves through Gemini and your second house of money, resources, and personal value. Mars doesn't create money. Mars creates movement. It brings initiative where you've been waiting. It brings action where you've been thinking. And it encourages you to engage more directly with financial matters that may have felt stagnant before. For Taurus, that's significant. You're often comfortable building slowly and steadily. Mars changes the pace. You may feel more motivated to negotiate, promote your work, develop new skills, explore additional income streams, or simply take your own value more seriously. Money isn't necessarily appearing from nowhere. What's changing is your relationship with it. And this is where Uranus becomes important. Earlier this year, Uranus entered Gemini and your second house of finances, where it will remain for years to come. Uranus is the planet of change, innovation, disruption, and awakening. It rarely asks whether you're comfortable. It asks whether you're growing. For many Taurus natives, security has traditionally meant predictability, reliable income, reliable systems, reliable routines. Uranus introduces a different perspective. What if security isn't created by holding on tighter? What if security comes from adaptability? Gemini is connected with communication, information, technology, learning, networking, and the ability to move quickly when new opportunities appear. And now Uranus is bringing those themes directly into your financial sector. This doesn't guarantee a specific outcome, but it does suggest that your future growth may come from places you wouldn't have considered before. Now look at what's happening. Mars is in your money house, Uranus is in your money house, and Venus, your ruler, is actively participating in the story. That's a rare concentration of energy focused on value, resources, and financial movement. No wonder this month feels different. But be careful not to misunderstand what this means. This isn't a guaranteed win. Mars adds fire, Uranus adds unpredictability. Together they can create breakthroughs, but they can also create impulsive decisions. That's why July rewards awareness more than risk-taking. Stay open to opportunities. Stay open to movement. But don't throw common sense into the fire, and don't rush into major commitments before understanding the full picture. That advice becomes even more important because of Mercury. For most of July, Mercury is retrograde in Cancer, moving through your third house of communication, paperwork, conversations, and agreements. Mercury retrograde isn't here to stop your progress. It's here to slow your pace enough for you to notice what still needs attention. Until July 24th, avoid rushing into major new commitments if you don't have to. Instead, revisit unfinished projects, complete pending tasks, organize paperwork, follow up on conversations that never reached a conclusion. One of the strongest messages of this month is simple. You don't need to chase the next opportunity. Some of the best results may come from work you've already done. The new moon on July 14th, also in this area of your chart, supports reflection, planning, and adjusting your perspective before making your next move. Meanwhile, another important story is unfolding in the background. Jupiter remains in Leo throughout July, moving through your fourth house of home and family. While financial matters may feel active and unpredictable, Jupiter is strengthening something deeper: your foundation, your support system, your sense of belonging. This influence continues through the summer of 2027, making home, family, property, and emotional security important areas of growth. While other parts of life shift and evolve, this is where something lasting is being built. Don't underestimate the value of that. As the month continues, Saturn and Neptune both occupy your 12th house of rest, recovery, and inner reflection. Neptune turns retrograde on July 7th, Saturn follows on July 26th. Together they send a simple message: rest is part of the strategy. Taurus is deeply connected to the physical world, and your body often tells the truth before your mind catches up. Pay attention to fatigue, pay attention to stress. Good sleep, quiet time, and proper recovery aren't distractions from success this month. They're part of it. Then we reach the end of July. At the top of your chart, retrograde Pluto continues its long-term work in your 10th house of career, reputation, and public life. This isn't a quick change. It's a deep transformation of how you're seen and how you define success. The full moon on July 29th shines a light on this area: recognition, completion, a professional milestone, a decision about the future, or simply greater clarity about where you're headed next. Watch the final days of the month carefully. Something that's been developing behind the scenes may finally become visible. And that's what all of this comes down to, Taurus. Venus moves your attention from foundations toward fulfillment. Mars brings movement to financial matters. Uranus challenges old definitions of security. Mercury reminds you to finish what you've started. Jupiter strengthens your roots, and Pluto continues reshaping your future. The opportunity isn't new. What's changing is your ability to recognize it, respond to it, and make use of it. July isn't about creating opportunity, it's about recognizing the opportunity you've already created. Let finances move, let possibilities evolve, but invest your energy where something real is being built. Because the strongest Taurus isn't the one who resists change. It's the one who knows how to create stability while change is happening. This is a solar forecast for Taurus. Your rising sign and natal chart will show where these energies are most likely to manifest in your personal life. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your own experience above everything else.